You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar, brought to you by Con Communications.
And weekend greetings, friends and neighbors. You have entered this power-packed edition of Overtime. These next two Saturdays are probably my favorite and simultaneously the most nerve-wracking of the spring season. We crown baseball and softball regional champions all across the Tri-States today, some of them in just absolutely unimaginable fashion. And yes, I'm looking at you, Brown County Lady Hornets, but more on you in a minute. But before we dive into the Diamond action, we bring to a close the high school track and field careers of a couple of young women who will forever be remembered among the all-time area greats in their respective disciplines. That starts, of course, with Rushville Industries' Megan Lozon and Monroe City's Carly Spalding. We'll start with the latter. On Friday, Miss Spalding clinched her second straight state long jump championship in Jefferson City. Today, she was looking to repeat as the Missouri Class II 100-meter champion, and ordinarily that would have been a mere formality for a sprinter who hasn't lost a race in 2 years. But today, Carly would be the underdog going in against Aisha Irving Muhammad, who was clocking in with sub-12-second times all year long. What would happen? Well, the good news, Carly ran fast enough today at 12:09 to set a new state record. The bad news was it wasn't fast enough, as Irving Muhammad puts up a blistering 11.74 time that will likely hold as the state record for many years to come. Tough loss for Carly as she takes second in the 100-meter, then wraps up her sensational career with another second place in the girls 4x100-meter relay, along with Olivia Kreger, Kiet Monday, and freshman Kayla Spalding, and also grabs a second in the 200-meter as well. And on the force of that effort, Monroe City finishes fourth as a team. Obviously, congratulations to Carly and the Monroe City Panthers. A pretty storied career indeed right there. Meanwhile, let's take a look at some of the goings-on, some of the winners today or the medalists, I should say, from Class 2. We'll start off on the girls' side. Megan Hooper in the high jump today goes 5'4", ends up finishing in fourth. Congratulations to her. Renee Bushling, who's had a great season for Clark County running distances with a great finish in the mile today, coming up with a sixth-place effort there. Also, big throwing effort today from Mark Twain's youngster, Kylie Barnes, who finishes fourth place overall, coming out of nowhere to make a great splash for the Tigers. And Palmyra's 4x200-meter relay team finishes in sixth place as well. At the Class 1 level today, big story of the day from our area was Kaylin Spratt from Marion County, who took a third place in the 300-meter hurdles and a fifth place in the 100-meter hurdles today, wrapping up what has been a storied career for her. Josie Walsh from Canton continues to do very well in the distance events. She finished in ninth today in the mile. And congratulations as well to Natalie Goodhouse of Knox County, who finished fifth today in the pole vault. More medalist fun, more fun to be had on the boys' side in Jefferson City. North Shelby's bid for a state championship came up shy today in Reed Stadium, but the Raiders put out a great effort led by their 4x200-meter relay team of Michael Orr, Jacob Rich, Michael Kissy, and John Arnett, who finished today a time in fourth place with a time of 1:35.31. Arnett also helped North Shelby to seventh place in the 4x1, and individually he finished in seventh place as well in the 100 meters. So congratulations to North Shelby on a great season. Let's go back to some of the medalists on the day. Couple of shot putters showing out really well for the Tri-States. Lincoln Jones out of Clark County, who finished fifth, and right behind him, Brendan Williams from Monroe City with a sixth place finish for those gentlemen. Van Windsor, not a bad effort in the 100-meter hurdles today, finishing fifth. And Zach Miller in a loaded field from Scotland County ends up finishing on the day eighth in the 100-meter sprint. Also, congratulations to Scott Hoover, who was very effective for Monroe City in the 2-mile. And Zane Lockhart, who bounced back from a little bit of a personal disappointment in the triple jump, ends up finishing third today in the long jump. So congratulations to him. At the Class 1 level, Levi Gauss, he does it all for Canton. Baseball, and of course, he can do it with the pole vault as well. Sixth place finish for him. In the triple jump today, Kellen Gillespie from Knox County, really good effort finishing in fourth place there. And some more throwers to talk about today. Ryan Robbins from Clopton finished third in the disc, while Ahmed Elbermawi, I should say, got a little closer that time with a new personal best throw in the disc of 130. That's good for a personal best and a new school record as well. So, Ahmed, congratulations to you as well. Let's move to Illinois now. State champion last spring. Why should this time around be any different for this young lady? The pride of Rushville Industry, Megan Lozon, 41 feet 6.5 inches, I should say. And Megan was today a state champion for the second straight year, that in the shot put. She also finished in fourth place in that event in 2010. Congratulations to her on a fabulous, phenomenal career for Miss Megan. Also, want to show you some highlights as well of Central Junior, Caitlin Ray, who was absolutely phenomenal today in the 400-meter, new school record. She's just a junior, and what a great finish for her. You'll see her from a little earlier this season. She finished in a time of 58:42 to take fourth place in the 400-meter. Congratulations to the pride of Central, as she has the wonderful day as well. Now, on the strength of its relay teams today, Illini West ends up finishing 7th overall in Class 1A girls state action with a 3rd place finish in the 4x100 meter as their high watermark. Also, Gracie Bostard contributed an 8th place individual finish in the long jump. A couple of more medalists to pass along. Rushville Industries' Rachel Simpson in the pole vault. Gracie Bostard, as I mentioned, and some throwers as well. Rachel Clowers from Pleasant Hill ends up finishing 6th in the disc today, and Madison Benson out of Bushnell Prairie City Avon. She does wonderful work in the shot put, finishes 4th as well. 3 states worth of state action today as well. Up in Iowa, congratulations to the newest state champion, Raheem Black of Fort Madison, who ended up winning the 400-meter hurdles in a time of 52:31. Raheem has a pair of Division I scholarship offers on the table from both Iowa and Northern Iowa. Great young man. We wish him well going forward to see what his career will bear out. And one of our favorites, Keokuk's Darian Sanders, also no state championship this year, but ends up with 3 top 3 finishes, a 2nd place finish in the state long jump in Class 3A, and 3rd place finishes in the sprint events in the 100 and 200 meters. Great young man there. Now let's move on to the Diamond today Regional Championship, the big one today in Class 2A between West Hancock and homestanding Macomb. Brett Taylor back on the mound after his team was trailing 3-0 in the 5th. But Macomb gets out of a jam right here as Taylor induces a 4-6-3 double play to keep within striking distance. Bottom of the 6th, bases loaded for West Hancock. Taylor picks up the K for the 2nd out of the frame. But Andrew Hardy going to step up, come up big today in support of his brother who was pitching with a 2-run single. 5-0 Titans at that point. That was more than enough for Austin Hardy, who hadn't given up but 1 earned run all season. He didn't give up any today either. This kid has been dynamite, maybe your player of the year. Complete game shutout after throwing a couple of innings earlier in the week. Yes, West Hancock gets it done. Trophy is awfully nifty, 5-0. Congratulations to Lee Prochaski and company. Up next for West Hancock, a road trip to Monmouth College. That will be on Wednesday, weather permitting, where they will take on Eureka, who was a 2-1 winner over Midwest Central. Again, that game is set up for later this week. Let's move on now. We've got more postseason baseball to talk about today and some good stuff, which obviously is all over the place. Postseason baseball, as I mentioned, has not been kind to the Rising Liberty Eagle program. For the last 2 years, Dewey Hansel's crew has been a #1 regional seed, but sealing the deal on that first ever program title has proven to be incredibly elusive. Would the 3rd time today be a charm for that squad in Mendon? Off to a great start in this one with the Liberty Eagles. Lane Hansel got staked to an early lead in this one, 4-1, and he was pitching confidently from that point forward. Couple of strikeouts, but Central also got some great pitching after the early debacle from Aaron DeRoos, who comes up and strong and kind of shuts Liberty's offense down from that point forward. Central going to pick up their offense, though. Taylor Hyman with this double. That's going to set the table just a bit later for Zach Foote. Beautiful squeeze play to cut the Liberty lead down to 4-2 at that point. Tell you what, Central just kept kind of chipping away in this game, getting a little bit closer, hitting the ball pretty effectively off Hansel, who doesn't give up a lot of runs. But look at the comeback working for Central. This sets up Seth Leeser. And my friends, Central had closed to within 4-3 in this game. Same score. We take you to the bottom of the 6th in this one. Tyler Orman at the plate already had a couple RBIs early in the game with the bases juiced. 1 out. Central can't turn the double play, and so Liberty extends its lead at that point to 5-3. Top of the 7th, Central's last chance. Mike Johnson going to step to the plate, and he's going to get it done, cutting the lead down to 5-4 at that point. Also bringing to the plate Central's best hitter, Seth Leeser. But look at the play by the young shortstop. That's Reed Wolfmeyer turning the final out of the game, and Liberty has finally got the monkey off their back. They win today by the final count of 5-4 to claim the first regional title in program history. Dewey Hansel couldn't have been more pleased with his young Charges. And coming up next for Liberty, it will be a showdown with Pawnee, who was a 10-1 winner over Morrisonville. That game is set up on coming up at Lewiston coming up on Wednesday. That is the 4:30 early game. Let's talk about the other side of the semifinal, and we'll talk more Liberty coming up tomorrow with Ross Green on the Big Sunday Show as he breaks down the incredible turnaround of that program. How about some more baseball now for you? Grigsville Perry hosting Triopia on the other side of the Lewiston bracket. Great pitcher's duel early in this one as Caleb Bradshaw comes up with a nasty stuff right here to end the first inning, but he would be effectively matched, at least early on, by Dirk Winkleman out of Triopia. The lefty was crafty today, got 2 early strikeouts right out of the gate in this game to kind of set things down. The Trojans, though, would strike first in the 4th inning. Derek Shoney's first home run of the season just clears the left field fence. That, my friends, a thing of beauty. Made it 1-0 for Triopia. Triopia threatening more in the frame, but this is kind of the turnaround point of the entire game, and it comes courtesy of the defense of Jordan Dehart, who comes up really nicely out in right field with the sliding snare. That's sensational 7-worthy. Take a look at it one more time in slow motion. Just off the grass, and yes, friends, we reviewed it. Perfect catch for that young man and well executed. And suddenly, things were about to get a whole lot better for Grigsville Perry. Bases loaded. That, my friends, is Dryden Craven putting the ball in play. Fielder's choice wouldn't work. We're tied up at 1. A little bit later, it's Mitchell Main. Oh, he throws down the squeeze bunt, and that's going to score Matthew Kennedy and put Grigsville Perry up for the first time in the 5th inning at 2-1. And then the floodgates kind of broke on Triopia. It starts right here with Wyatt Bradshaw. This was really kind of the difference maker. A 2-run double that just kind of skims the line, gets home a pair. The lead is suddenly 4-1. Then Jordan Dehart, who did it defensively, going to step in and show his worth with the aluminum as well, extending the lead to 6-1. It was an 8-run frame for Grigsville Perry. Triopia was just kind of doomed from that point forward, especially with Mr. Bradshaw on the hill, just kind of throwing darts in this game. He goes the distance. Grigsville Perry is your regional champion. They end up winning in a decidedly lopsided fashion today, 10-2. Up next for them, this ought to be a dandy matchup. It will be the late game coming up at Lewiston on Wednesday. Again, weather permitting. Jacksonville Route versus Grigsville Perry. These teams were twice scheduled to play this season. They were snowed out and iced out both times. Nick Lonergan, Player of the Year candidate, reigning KHQA Player of the Year, was pretty darn good today with a 3-hitter on the hill. He went 2 for 4 at the plate. He's the only guy I know who can go 2 for 4 and have his average drop, his batting average. Also had a triple and a ribby today. So Route versus Grigsville Perry, that should be a Jim Dandy coming up on Wednesday. And we are just getting started here. We've got great news for Quincy High tennis. We've got an unbelievable softball game between Brown County and Triopia, and much, much more coming your way as overtime continues.
You're watching KHQA Overtime with Chris Dewar. Brought to you by Con Communications.
And welcome back to Overtime, everyone. It had been a quarter of a century since Brown County softball had last laid claim to a regional championship, and at least at the outset of the Hornets title game showdown today with Triopia, it looked like it might take another 25 more years until they atoned for that absence. A disaster of a start today against Triopia as BC went down 8-1 after the first 2 innings. But this story was about to get a little bit more interesting. Elizabeth Weary's pitching confidently at the time with that 8-1 lead. Couple of strikeouts in the 3rd inning. She looked pretty darn good, and then kind of things started sliding away. And it started very simply. It was Kelly Buss kind of working this thing with the infield single that kind of set a slow unraveling of Triopia. Mind you, with a big 8-1 lead at that point. A little bit later, it's Megan Winston just kind of putting one in play, and suddenly what was an 8-1 lead was 8-3 as Kelly Buss is just flat flying. Don't give her a signal because she's not going to stop. Again, 8-3 at that point on the 2-run blooper right there. Then Vanessa Markert about to step up, and she's going to light it up, light it up, light it up. She's on fire at that point. Good stuff for her with a solo home run. Cuts the lead at that point to 8-4. Triopia, though, going to answer right back after Miss Markert gets mobbed at the plate. Elizabeth Weary's helping her own cause, extending her team's lead to 10-4 with a 2-run home run. Both of these Bob Seeger style against the wind. However, Brown County rallies all the way back again from that 10-4 deficit. And in the bottom of the 7th inning, who else? Vanessa Markert with a walk-off home run. Are you kidding me? To win a 15-14 ball game today. Tell you what, when Brown County, or 14-13 ball game, when Brown County decides to make history, they make it with drama. Congratulations to the Brown County Lady Hornets. They are rolling on, and they will face Carrollton Wednesday at 4:30 at the Calhoun Sectional. Great win for Brown County. Kind of a nice turnaround story brewing there. And wow, Vanessa Markert, we knew she could play some basketball. She can flat destroy a softball. Good stuff for her as well. How about some more from the Class 1A level? Griggsville Perry taking on Western today. Rachel Motley starting off strong on the hill for the Wildcats with a strikeout right here and a runner on third. But Hannah DeWitt would drive in two right here with a single to left, and Griggsville Perry suddenly had a 2-0 lead at this point. Same inning. Allison Bingham going to step in and drive a run home with a double to right center field to extend the lead out to 3-0. By the way, great camera work from our new photographer, Ace Hendricks, former Brown County star. Nice job, Ace. Good stuff right here. Wildcat defense holding up, though, as Griggsville Perry scored those 3 runs. But look at the defense right here. Nice catch by the shortstop, Amber Platt. Good stuff from her. But Griggsville Perry got a great start from Mackenzie Vose. The K to strike out the game. And Griggsville Perry is rolling on, winning the Liberty Sectional today 3-0 over a very good Western team. That's the good news for Griggsville Perry. The tough step is the next one. They have to beat a very good Calhoun team on its home field. I tell you what, Calhoun destroyed Metro East Lutheran 10-0. Griggsville Perry will be the underdog in that game, that on Tuesday at 4:30, but stranger things have happened. By the way, let's pass along some more softball 1A congratulations today. Oh, excuse me, losing my voice here. To West Prairie, first ever regional title for the Cyclones as Tabby Bilderback leads the way with a couple of runs scored. West Prairie beats United. The Cyclones will advance to the Varna Midland sectional on Tuesday, where they will take on Newark. We had a dandy showdown in Hancock County today as well at the Class 2A level. Illini West versus West Hancock. These teams, these schools, great rivalry. Allison DeWald drops down the bunt right here. The throw to first gets away, and she would end up on third with just one out in this game. Then Lexi Dooley going to step in and really do some nice hitting early on. There wasn't a whole lot of hitting in this game, so every little bit counted in this one, and it was Lexi Dooley getting the RBI single right here to short left field, a little flare that puts the Titans up 1-0. The game would become a pitcher's duel from that point forward. Shelby Kaler would end the second inning right here. She not only hits the ball magnificently, she can be flat dominant on the hill. She ends the second inning with a strikeout right there. Madison Schuster, though, would match her in this game straight up. Madison Schuster right here pitching a scoreless second inning as well. Top of the third, Illini West would get something going. Mackenzie Anderson going to single to left. Then Caitlin Logan is going to single to put 2 on, but Kaler would get out of that jam. She would also find a way to push her team through as a 1-1 game. In the bottom of the 6th sees West Hancock score what turns out to be the decisive run and win this thing. Congratulations to the Titans. They are regional champs. They win 2-1 today. They have a road trip to Stronghurst for the sectional, and they draw a really good Sherrard team. But again, West Hancock hitting the ball well enough, getting great pitching right now. I'm not sure they're an underdog to anybody. Sherrard, though, very, very good. 13 runs today they pounded out against a decent Rockridge team. That game is Tuesday at 4:30 again. That game will be played at Stronghurst. So that's all the softball we have for you. Let's talk some track and field. This time from the Missouri Big School level. Hannibal stuck in a really awfully competitive sectional today. Couple of Pirates get through today. Nathan Voss, who we figured would get through, ends up finishing second in the high jump to book his passage to state next week. Also, Markel Strickland. He competed in a couple of different events. His best today, the 110-meter hurdles, where he took second place and booked state passage for himself as well. Good tennis news as well. We told you yesterday that Quincy High was getting a couple of folks on to state. Not only are they advancing, Colin Adams and Tom O'Connor, the Blue Devils' outstanding doubles team, is going as a sectional champion today as Quincy High School ends up finishing second at the Springfield sectional with 22 points on the day. As I mentioned, Colin Adams, Tom O'Connor leading the way. First place in doubles. We'll find out next week where they're seated for the state tournament. Also, the outstanding freshman Andrew Fauble finishing in second place on the singles side of things in the sectional. So that's really good news as well for the Gem City and the rising tennis scene here. How about the Keokuk Chiefs today? They are going to state in girls tennis as well. They beat Fairfield 5-0. We do not know yet who the Chiefs will face in team state. It will either be Davenport Assumption or Knoxville. That match to be determined coming up on Monday, I believe. But congratulations to the Chiefs for their phenomenal breakthrough today. That's incredible stuff for the Chiefs, who continue to play really, really good tennis up in Southeast Iowa. A couple more scores to pass along for you right now. Regular season softball today, Quincy Notre Dame with a split against Rochester. Game 1 to Rochester 10-4. Game 2 to the Raiders as they end up winning that one 8-2. And Western Illinois sort of has backed into the Summit League tournament. They lose 2 today to Oakland 4-3 and 12-11. However, Western Illinois had already guaranteed itself today a seed in the Summit League tournament. They will be the 4 seed. They will open up against the top seed coming up on May 23rd. That is South Dakota State. Zach Burling, the pride of Illini West today, and the John Wood program, I should mention, with 3 hits in that second game in a losing cause. And we'll have more overtime for you coming up after this. Well, this is the time on Overtime where we unveil our latest Con Communication connection for the month of June. And actually in May, I should say, as we're doing this all the way through the end of June, one last vote, a mega vote at the end of this month and the end of next month when the high school sports season continues. Here's the deal. We put up all of the outstanding sports couplings for your perusal at connecttristate.com. At the end of the month, or at the end of this time period, you get a chance to vote for the very best of the lot. And as an incentive for you to vote, anyone who participates in the process becomes eligible to win that prize package from Con Communication. Easy pick today. We didn't have the game-winning home run, but we certainly had this magnificent effort for Miss Vanessa Markert, who was just darn near perfect today, hitting this home run into the teeth of a big wind as well. Boy, she got the job done today, and so too did her teammates. Brown County winning its first regional title in 25 years. Congratulations, Vanessa Markert, for your efforts on the day.